Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Married to Sports. Here we go, guys. Another Monday. With me, as always, I've got Rodney, Chris, and Diabolical. How you guys doing this morning?
What's
We're
up?
doing great. What's up, guys?
It's Monday.
Monday,
Cowboys had a
Monday,
win. I'm happy.
Monday. Said no one.
Just another just another man at Monday, like the old song
Texas
says.
snuck one in.
Yep.
So,
I had a bad week. I had a bad weekend. I had a bad weekend of football.
Ooh. Yeah.
yeah,
You're
let's get
FSU.
let's get into that.
And Pittsburgh.
The aforementioned FSU, Florida fired their coach. Dio, you talked to me on podcast on lives about firing Mike Norvell. How do you feel about them waiting to the end of the season to fire him?
We're going to lose our commitments. These kids that committed, especially the influx of people, making their mind to come to Florida State after the Alabama win. I do not put it past them to watch the rest of the season and go, nope, because I'm pretty sure. I already know they have the buyout. I'm pretty sure at the end of the season, he'll probably get 3 or 4 more losses. I mean, I don't. It's possible we lose out. We have a 3-9 season, and you're going to lose all those recruits and go to a new coach, whoever that may be. And it's just going to it's a whole start over process. And we've been here since Bobby Bowden left.
Mm-hmm.
Jimbo, yeah, he got us a national championship, but he left that program like a upside down and on fire. We went through Willie Taggart, and now we're going through Mike Norvell. And look, I like Mike Norvell as a person. He was a good coach at Memphis. I think he'll do well at a school more that suited that size in a different conference. I don't think he's big time. I don't think he's a Power 4 or a Power 5 coach. I think he'll do better at like a Florida Atlantic, Memphis, Bowling Green. I could see him coaching in the MAC, and he would be successful, but not at Florida State.
I got a question
Because we've
for you.
seen. Go ahead.
Do you think Florida State's program is recoverable?
Yes, it is, because if you've ever been to that campus in that area of Florida, you got the Gulf Coast right there. I mean, it's a beautiful campus. It's a beautiful stadium. It's got a great football facility. They put a lot of money into it. Now Jimbo wanted more, and they told him no. He wanted to add on to the football facility. They told him no, and then he eventually saw greener pastures at Texas A&M, which that didn't work out for him.
Oh no.
Um, but it's a good destination for a lot of California kids. They want to come see the other side of the other side of the country. Florida's got so much talent in high schools that Florida, Miami, and Florida State. That's your big three, and then you got Central Florida, South Florida. They get the scraps, even though they're talented. I mean, they're 4-star, 3-star, but it's going to take the right coach that can command that facility, that locker room, and those kids.
James.
Right now, I don't think Norvell has command of that locker room. You know what I mean?
No.
They're there. They're going through the motions, but even with Gus Malzahn, a former head coach, he's getting out coached, with what we have on the field. And so our quarterback went down. He took that big hit the other night. So now we're playing with backups. I just don't see the rest of the season salvageable. I don't think anything's going to save Mike Norvell.
Yeah.
At this point, do you fire the athletic director also, if that's what they're waiting on at the end of the year? Fresh start?
I'm surprised he didn't get pushback from that this morning when they came out with that statement. I mean, if I was a booster or an alum, I would be saying, wait, we're waiting until the end of the season? Because if I start seeing decommitments from Florida State, I'm picking up the phone and I'm gonna say, you got to stop the bleeding now. Plug it.
Hold on. The bleeding started last year. Let's just be honest with that. And
The bleeding's been there. I mean, they're still holding on to that. We deserve to be in the playoffs, and I'm one of the few Florida State fans that'll tell you we had no business being in the playoffs. Even if we would have had our starter,
yeah,
I think any four of those teams and even Georgia would have trucked us out of the building. I mean, that was a suspect undefeated season.
yeah.
We came close to losing a few of those games.
To add on to that, Dio, y'all did play Georgia that year in the what bowl was it? And it was
It was the Orange Bowl,
Yeah.
but I'm going to say this, and it's not a defense. Any player that had any NFL aspirations or transfer ideas did not play in that game, and that was I think we had one starter play in that game that started all year.
That's right.
The rest went in portal, and the rest committed to the NFL draft. And Georgia, they were playing for pride. They were pissed off. They got left out of the playoffs. And buddy, you saw the score. What was it, 63-3, something like that? I mean, it was a bath, man. It was a bloodbath. It was ugly. But I think Georgia still would have beat us by 40, even with the starting quarterback and the starters, if we had them. Georgia was good that year. I think Georgia would have probably won the national championship had they got in the playoffs.
I think you're right.
that's a fair
They had a
point.
good team.
That's a fair point.
They had a good team.
They did.
But my biggest thing about keeping Norvell, and I'm going to end this, he's going to lose us recruits. We're not going to have talent there for the next coach. That next coach is going to have to start from the ground up. But I'll accept it. I will accept maybe not going to a bowl as long as I see growth and I see a positive future.
So do you think it's going
But
to
it's
take
gotta be
him
the right
3 or
guy.
4 years to rebuild it?
I'm fine with that. I think 4 years is fair to any coach in college football at any program, especially with the NIL and the transfer portal in play now. 4 years should be given to a coach.
Before the NIL, I always said 5 years because you got to get your players in and you got to figure out where they're going to be, how they're going to meld with all the other players. Until then, you don't truly know what a college coach is going to be able to do. If it's pro football, it's a completely different monster. I say 2 to 3 years, but that's just my opinion.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know the athletic director there, but I would imagine they've already had this conversation, and the board said, "Hey, we're keeping Norvell for the end of the year," and they said, "All right." And the athletic director went and said, "Hey, we're staying with you." With the way you guys played against Alabama, I see a lot of talent. I know it's against Alabama and everybody's going to bring their best shot against Alabama, but why are you not doing that the rest of the season? Well, you're not doing that because your coach isn't bringing that out of you. If you have that much talent and you can beat a powerhouse like Alabama, why would you not
Because-
get a better coach in there right away and start and salvage the season? Now you're too little, too late.
They went to Virginia. They got punched in the mouth. They didn't take it. They actually took it the other way, and that loss, it was the start of
Yeah,
him
so I
losing
mean-
that locker room. There has not been the same team. There's not been the same team since that Virginia game on that field.
Oh, no.
There's a couple of guys out there. There's a couple of guys out there balling, but there's about 20 others, maybe 17 others that are just going through the motions, going, "Where's the transfer?"
That's a
portal?"
disservice to all the seniors that
They've
don't
lost
get
that
that
locker room.
opportunity.
They've lost it. I understand that, but again, you got that transport portal. You know, if you go, let's go. All right, look at it this way: you go to a big box hardware store, and you don't like the service, and you don't like the price. Hey, there's another big box hardware store right across the street. That's where I'm going to go. The minute you don't like something, these kids, they're out. They check out, man. There's no dedication
No.
anymore. There's no respect.
I call it the travel
They're-
ball
it's just,
syndrome.
hey, yeah, I'm
Yep.
out. Like, oh, I don't like what you said. I don't like the way you treat me. I'm out.
The coach
You know,
doesn't like
They have that escape. Yep.
Yep.
My feelings got hurt, so I'm going to go over here and see if I get treated better. That is the me. It's the me movement.
It is.
Dude, I understand
It's
the
me.
I understand what day and age we're in when it comes to the contracts in high school, in college. I mean, you're even seeing it in high school, NIL deals in high school now. Broken Arrow has a couple people that are getting paid. Don't know if they're supposed to say that, but at what point does the NCAA and the NFL take back football and say, hey, man, we're going to go back to real football? And dude, you could cut everybody today. You could start the next man up. Dude, I'm telling you, you really could. Because here's the thing. You're still going to watch football. You're still going to watch it. We have to learn these kids' names every year.
Flag football's going
That's
to
the
be great in
problem.
2050.
That's the problem. The fans have to make a stand and say, fix this or else.
You don't
you're
need
not
the
gonna
fans.
get
The owners
every
could do
fan
it.
to
The
do
owners
that.
could step up right now and say, hey, every single one of y'all are cut, and I'm still watching the Dallas Cowboys. They got rid of my favorite player, Micah Parsons. I'm still watching the Dallas
right.
Cowboys.
Okay.
All right. To your point, Brandon, I'm going to make a point here. The NBA had no age limit for a while. They were allowing high school
Right.
kids to come into the league. They went and negotiated with the NCAA, said, hey, let's do a one and done. And that way they have to go to college or they have to go to this G League or Ignite or whatever. They have to have at least 1 year. It's still ruining the game. It's still watering down the game with the talent today. I mean, at what point do we go back? Football has 3 years before they can go in. I know it's a different sport, but still, you see it. You have me movement also, but you're still seeing a little bit better talent than what the NBA is producing with that one and done. So at some point, it has to be done by the owner. I'm agreeing with you. I'm
I
just
mean,
adding to
you're
that.
absolutely right. It did water it
Saying
down.
that.
But I mean, what the problem with the NBA, in my opinion, it started with the All-Star game. Once the All-Star game didn't mean anything, like I just found out recently, the All-Star game in baseball doesn't mean anything. Man, that determined who had home field in the World Series for the longest time. The All-Star game meant something. It's so hard to fake a baseball game. But basketball, dude, we're seeing them take 500 threes. No defense.
Well, now
Exactly.
the Pro Bowl is flag football.
Yeah.
Come
So
on.
cut these
me a break.
divas. Get some guys that are hungry in there that want to play. Push them through.
All right, here's the thing. These divas bring money to the university through these NIL deals. They do. That's the problem. You're not going to get an athletic director and a coaching staff to say, no, we're not going to cut that kid. He's paying part of my salary.
Yeah.
In a sense, these players are customers to that university now. They're bringing a dollar sign with them. And that's the problem. Used to, it was hidden to where the university did have control if they were doing McDonald bags of money, because the kid is not going to say anything and the coach isn't going to say anything and the athletic director is not going to say anything because nobody wants to get caught. So they could tell that kid, shut your whining and get your ass out on the field and play. And the kid was going to do it because he was getting paid under the table. Now it's out in the open and the kid can pretty much give him the finger and say, I'll still get in the draft. I'll still get drafted. I'm already making more than you. Some of these kids are making more than their coaches. I made the comment yesterday, there's no reason in the world for a quarterback in college to be driving a Lamborghini around Athens, Georgia, and now Miami. Are you kidding me? That's not a jealous statement. That's a common sense statement in the sense that these kids have no idea what to do with this money. That's why the NFL has a rookie symposium that they're all required to attend, so they get money managers and financiers in there to tell them how to manage their money wisely in the event of an injury or a career-ending injury, that they'll have something to fall back on. because
Right.
they didn't finish college because they didn't stay.
Right.
So they don't fall back on a degree. Let's say they play 1 year in the league and then they get their leg twisted around. They're done. They only got paid for that one season or the guaranteed money of that contract. That's not based on them buying a house and all these cars. That's not enough for them to live on the rest of their life. They're going to lose it. And you've seen so many pro athletes now that can't even walk and they don't have a pot to piss in because they didn't know how to manage their damn money.
I brought this up on another podcast. One of my good friends, Norman Hand. He was drafted. He ended up having to have that entourage, but he was 6'5", 315 pounds. He didn't need a bodyguard, but he had his entourage. Ultimately, 37 years old. Ask me where he is right now. He's dead.
Probably homeless.
He's dead because he couldn't afford his medicine. I mean, come on.
There you go.
At some point, we have to go and get this stuff under control, because if not, these players are not going to manage their money. They're not going to sit there and have an efficient life that they can get the medicines they need. Let's be real.
Nobody knows the word no anymore. They need to learn the word no.
And that started way
It's just like
back
my
when.
kid.
It's called putting them in timeout instead of saying no.
That's
Well,
a whole nother thing, though.
I always accept the truth. I'd always rather somebody tell me the truth and maybe rub my feelings a little bit than sit there and beat around the bush and sugarcoat shit, because that's not me.
Yeah.
And the problem is, I wouldn't make a good coach in this day and age because I just don't have the patience. I think I was born a century too late.
I coached men's college, and dude, I coach women's professional now, and I heard more crying from those younger kids. They were adults, man, 18, 19 years old. I heard more crying from them than I did the women.
Mm-hmm.
We, honest to God, I had
Yep.
my Coach Joe, who is our offensive coordinator, I had him come out here with my guys that we were coaching, and they couldn't even make it through the workout. We're crying through the whole workout, and it's the same workout we put the girls through every day. I say girls, they're grown women.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Man, they're playing for
exactly.
something.
And I was like, man, y'all are some
Yep.
hands.
Coaching both.
They're there for the joy. They're there for the joy
Y'all
of
want
the
the
game,
success without the work.
not the dollar. Yeah.
So
They want the participation. They want the participation trophy.
boy, is that
That's
true.
the biggest joke. And you know what? My Steelers
Hey.
jersey is the number of James Harrison, because I respected him, and I loved when he told his boys when they went up there to get their participation trophy in that football league they were in. He asked them, he goes, "Did y'all win the championship?" And they're like, "No, sir." He said, "Go back up there and return that trophy." And they did in front of everybody. And a lot of the parents got upset with James Harrison at the rec league. And he said, "What did y'all win?" And they said, "Nothing. We didn't win the championship." He goes, "So why are you getting a trophy?" He goes, "Put it back. That's not coming back home."
Respect.
And that's a father to me.
That's not
That's a
father.
grown
That's
man telling his
That's
kid.
not just a father. That's a mentor. That's somebody that's teaching these guys
Yep.
not to settle for something that isn't earned. I mean, today
Yeah.
you're sitting here, you watch, and I've said it. College football, college basketball is my first love. NFL, I can take or leave. Some seasons I get into it, some seasons I don't. But you know what? During it, I remember these hard hits. I remember these games where they were 23-21, going down to the last second with something on the line. Today, we're not seeing things on the line.
I'm going to say one more thing about something I saw 2 weeks ago. And this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Every week, college game day is at a university. And what do they allow a student or somebody to do? They try to attempt a field goal for money.
Yep.
Okay? 2 weeks ago at the Alabama Vandy game, that girl got up there and she didn't even come close to kicking that football anywhere near that goal. And what did they do? They gave her $300,000 anyways. I haven't seen that for other guys who missed the field goal. They didn't give him anything. She's sitting there celebrating like she just won the lottery, which she pretty much did. She was given $300,000 for just trying to kick a field goal. And I said, why did they give her $300,000? Made no sense to
Probably
me.
worked for,
She
it
didn't
probably
earn
worked for
anything.
ESPN.
And that's my point. Yeah, it could be, and that right there is another issue. It's all smoke and mirrors.
I'm
and
gonna
it's
tell
a
on the
false
car
product
dealership
you're
real
selling
quick.
your fans.
So one of the things I used to hate were those mail-in flyers. Right? They bring in all these traveling salesmen into your dealership. They're all doing whatever they're doing. Most of them aren't on this planet. You know what I mean? They're elevated. And they send out all these flyers. Well, they send out one winner. They legitimately have to send out one winner.
Yep.
But they send it all the way to the other side of the coast where you're like, I'm not going to drive all the way over there to do this. And it's just like, why even,
Right.
why bother with this? You know what I mean? Somebody's got to win, but you want to keep it in-house or you want to send it way far away where nobody's going to deal with it. And
It's just to get foot traffic.
no, and
It's just to
I
get
get
foot
it,
traffic
but
in your
it's
dealership.
dirty. The whole thing, like when we'd have those sales, like the whole dealership would just feel grungy. And it's a high-end dealership.
Welcome to life.
Oh, I know.
Life is rigged
it was
against us.
It was just
Everything
nasty.
is, Brandon.
Dude, it's one of those nasty things.
So real quick, that NBA rule about one and done in the they have to go to 1 year of college was because, if I remember correctly, it was Samari Walker when the Dallas Mavericks drafted him. I don't know if you guys remember him at all. It was the year after Kobe got drafted, and this kid freaking threw, I mean, tantrum after tantrum after tantrum after tantrum, to the point to where he started throwing punches at his head coach because he didn't want to put in the work. So this is why this rule was put into effect.
Maturity level.
Exactly. His balls hadn't dropped
Maturity
yet.
level.
Let's be honest.
No, and I
Thank
mean,
you.
I can get all that.
Thank you.
But then you
Yep,
have the
Chris, you
athletes like
nailed it,
Kobe
man.
Bryant, who did come out of high school. And I know later on in life he had a scandal, I understand.
No,
But the first 4 or 5 years of Kobe's career,
Yeah.
he did nothing but play ball. He was a true pro. Then you
Yeah.
have John Morant, who gets a chance after chance, and then messes
Yeah.
up again doing the same darn thing. Come on, it's a difference in how you were raised and how your parents raised you. That is straight parenting.
Yeah.
And
It
it's
is.
straight coaching too, because if the kids don't have parents at home, let's say, you know what? These coaches are father figures, they're mentors, they're teaching respect level. Just like James Harrison, perfect example you made. You know what? Ultimately, you gotta put this here to use and understand what this can lead to this. This right here. Jerry Maguire said
Look
it
what
best.
Bobby. You nailed it. Look what Bobby Bowden did for so many of those boys that went to Florida State.
Man.
He mentored them. He was a father to some of them.
Oh, yeah.
And those kids in return, like you take Warwick Dunn. Warwick Dunn raised all his siblings.
Yep.
I mean, he had to do all of that,
Oh, yeah.
you know? So you need more coaches like that in every sport at those levels. And that's what I would look for in a coach for any of
I
these
mean, at the
sports.
same time, these players got to open up too. You don't know
You
what
do.
you don't know.
That's true.
That's
That's true.
100%
But the coach has to be
true.
engaged.
I understand, but when you
He
go
has to
home
be
and you don't
engaged.
talk about your
And-
home life, and you go home and you step in between those lines, and we're in there together. We're a family. But if families talk, you don't communicate. You don't tell me what's going on at home. You can't put that on me that I don't know what's going on in your home. Especially when everything, I see your
Yeah.
mom, I see your dad. You know what I mean? Maybe not at the same time. But if you don't tell me there's a problem at home, how am I supposed to help you? I don't know what you don't. I don't know what I don't know.
You're 100%
Yeah,
right,
but that-
Brandon.
That's where you're going to get those coaches though that are engaged in their players.
Yeah.
You know, especially if they're a father and they raise children.
Yeah.
They can see the signs. You know, a lot of kids wear it on their sleeve, and you can see it.
Oh yeah.
You know, I know when my son is sick. I know when he's upset. I can the minute he gets in my vehicle off the school bus. He's 13. He thinks he's hiding it, but I'm like, what happened to school today? Oh, did the school call you? I'm like, no, what happened? Well, the school never called me because there was no need to, but he had an interaction with another student, you know, and just kids being kids. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Corey said to put your knee down, Corey. Or Rodney.
You know, I get comfortable. I get comfortable, Corey. Leave me alone.
He really did text me and tell me to tell you that. Um, can we move off college football for a little bit? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
wait, I did want to say
So-
something about the James Harrison thing.
Chris.
So my daughter played volleyball, and I didn't tell her not to take the medal, but she did tell him to take the medal, and she didn't tell him to shove it, but she, without saying, she told him to shove it. She was like, "You're not going to sit here and give me something we didn't." And a very, very proud dad moment where I was like, "Thank you, you get it." And so she's with me every day. We do at least 20 minutes every day of some kind of volleyball. But back to the fact that he
Nice.
made the kids put it back, that was a
Good
cool
for her.
story. And the fact that my daughter has that mentality lets me know that she's gonna be all right.
I will say this as far as coaching both boys and girls, or men and women are a lot tougher than the men or the boys. Not only mentally, but physically. Now, don't get me wrong, they've
Higher
got
pain
their
tolerance.
things just like everybody else does. But I'll tell you what, I would rather coach a softball team than a baseball team. Because I know that I am going to get 100% of the time out of those girls, and they're going to fight for everything that they got. And if it came down to it, they would definitely throw blows and have no problem doing it.
Yeah, you're right.
So, Chris,
Yeah.
congratulations are in order. Your Niners are 5-2 with the win over the Falcons.
You
Talk
know,
about that game.
you mean the MASH unit 49-49th?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, I got to be honest. I did something that I haven't done in probably 15 years. I picked against the Niners. Yeah, not smart, not smart. But
you know this airs tomorrow, right?
there's what?
You know this is going on air tomorrow,
Oh, I
right?
know. And probably one of the bigger mistakes that I made over the weekend was picking against the Niners, but I wasn't sure with Kittle coming back how the chemistry was going to be, so on and so forth. Well, we did find out one thing. McCaffrey's definitely feeling good. And that offensive line, except for one play when Kyle Juszczyk got blown up, in my opinion, showed up because I think Kittle pushed him, but that's just my opinion. Now, I got to give kudos to Shanahan and Saleh. Holy crap. You want to talk about taking a mindset and having to change it numerous times and ball players to step up? Unbelievably, let's just be honest there. And I think we found the next Fred Warner. Bethune. Wow. That kid, in my opinion, we got to watch him because I think that he's going to be the. It depends on what you call it, the Will or the Wilma linebacker, because him and Warner, that's going to be filthy, and I think they'll move D Winters out to the edge with Mikael Williams, but that's just my opinion there.
So back to your Fred Warner thing, I'm actually really impressed with your Niners on how well they did as a whole when it comes to overcoming injuries. We see teams after teams get decimated with injuries and they just fall off, and we say, "Oh, it's injuries, it's injuries," and then we see the Niners and they're 5-2. And they're like, "What injuries? We got pieces." And it's not even necessarily so much the pieces. It's like I think I underestimated Kyle Shanahan as a coach. Um, I don't think he's going to ever be able to win the big game. I think he needs a great assistant to help him get over that hump. It might be Saleh. There is something about those two together that it just works. It works for no apparent reason. Because Mac Jones, let's be honest, did not have a great game yesterday.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty.
No.
I know what the score says, but it was really more of a 12-9 ball game. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And Atlanta didn't want to win the game. And Atlanta is built top to bottom
No.
like they should be a powerhouse. I mean, they
I
really
agree.
Bijan Robinson and hook 'em horns. Y'all can say what you want. This could be a homer take. You can say it all you want, but I think he's one of the top 5. He's definitely a top 5 running back in the league. Top 3, arguably, right? Jonathan Taylor, Bijan
Yes.
Robinson. Who else you taking?
Yeah.
So really, it's 1 and 2. I don't know where you go from there. He is a Texas boy, so I know it sounds like a homer take, but he's like that.
Joffrey,
And
Kyron Williams.
I love seeing Raheem Morris being a
when
coach,
Kyron
but
Williams.
is he a coach there? I can't tell.
Yeah.
No. All right. I'm not a fan of either one of those teams, but I took the 49ers last night because I live near Atlanta, and I'm just not an Atlanta fan. They constantly repeat the insanity every coaching cycle.
Yeah. They do, don't they?
They haven't found the right coach for that team. Bijan Robinson is great. Michael Penix is average.
I don't know if
I'm
he's
not
average.
sold on Michael
That might be a little
Penix.
high.
And when you talk about
Average might be a little high.
I watch him in the red zone, he doesn't get it done. You go back and watch all the red zone visits by the Falcons this year, Penix does not deliver. You can't keep going down there for field goals when you've already cut your kicker once this year.
Yeah.
Now you have another that's 50-50. Okay? Going back to I'm done with the Falcons. I don't want to talk about them anymore. But I will talk about the 49ers. You talk about Saleh. I like him. I liked him in New York as the Jets coach. You can look at the Jets right now, and you can't tell me there's one thing about that team that Saleh did. He has nothing to do with that team anymore. You know, Aaron Rodgers was a big part of the reason Saleh's not there in New
He's
York.
not even
Oh,
on air.
God, yeah.
Obviously.
I don't think it was fair to him, and I think that the Jets made a mistake cutting him loose because you see what he's doing with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco.
Yeah.
You're going to say, well, he's a great coordinator. You know what, though? I think he should get another chance down the line after he's done in San Francisco because I like him. I like that coach.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
But when it comes to the 49ers, based on what they have, shows that they know how to draft. I mean, good God, Mr. Irrelevant is their starting quarterback now. Okay? I thought Brock Purdy was great at Iowa State. I loved watching him in college. And when they drafted him as Mr. Irrelevant, I was like, I can't believe nobody took him before then.
I was
Because you never hear about Mr. Irrelevant anymore.
no.
high on Brock Purdy. I wanted him in Carolina at one point when we were replacing Cam Newton. I mean, because you know what?
Well,
I'm just adding to what you said. I mean, I was high on Brock Purdy. I would have taken him.
I want to push back on your Aaron Rodgers comments.
I would have taken him in Pittsburgh.
So you cannot
Okay, go
put
ahead.
the Jets wrongly fired Robert Saleh, and I will stand on that. But you're not going to put that on Aaron Rodgers when the receivers are dropping more than 40 balls in a season. You cannot. How can you Devontae Adams had the most drops he'd ever had in a season. You had over 40 drops. You were second in the league, and you did
I'm not
nothing
disputing
to
that.
help that receiver room. Absolutely nothing. Now, how are you going to drop that many balls? Well, you got Aaron Rodgers got to go catch it too.
Yep. Last time I checked, head coaches can't give birth to wide receivers. Okay? Here's the thing. They're on the team. They're on the team. That's all they can do.
Yep.
He has no control. Look, he doesn't personally have an impact on who they bring in. He can't go out there and hold their arms a certain way and show them how to catch a ball. They've been doing it since they were
Get 'em on the
kids. That's
tug.
why they're a wide receiver. But Aaron Rodgers did have some scathing comments. Aaron Rodgers had scathing comments about Robert Saleh.
Oh yeah.
Okay? He threw gas on that fire that was already there that you're talking about. I'm
Yeah,
not
fuel.
disputing that the wide receivers could not catch a cold. But I am going to say Aaron Rodgers did have some choice words, and he has in the past with the Packers. This is nothing new with Aaron Rodgers. And yes, he's our 40-year-old quarterback in Pittsburgh.
And look
I
what he's
have to
doing for
deal with
y'all.
him now. He's there. Okay? Yeah. But look what our and not only with the Steelers today, because our defense sucks, and we talked about them Friday
He put y'all in
after the
position to
game
win.
Thursday night. But just to get back to everything I was saying, congratulations to the 49ers, because here's the thing. The Baltimore Ravens and the 49ers are almost helmet for helmet tied for injuries this year.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the difference that San Francisco's done compared to Baltimore. You know what that is? That's called drafting the
Oh, yeah,
right
that's it.
guys. San Francisco drafted the right players for their system.
And you know,
Baltimore obviously did not do their homework with some of these drafts
and you know,
because they can't
You
plug
gotta
in a
change
guy
it up.
because he's not getting the job done. Look at the disaster.
and you know
Yes, but look at the disaster the Baltimore Ravens are right now.
Oh.
what? You know what? To your point, Dio, I'm going to point out to Chris. How many NFL drafts have you heard these mock drafts and these pundits say, oh, the Niners had the worst draft. Oh, I don't know why they're doing this, why they're doing that. It's a system. It's a
Lynch.
system.
Lynch,
Lynch
Lynch
and Shanahan
knows
are
what
working
he's doing.
together.
he does.
And
I
that's
mean-
the thing is the coach and the GM are working together. They are tied together. They are like brothers tied at the hip.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah,
Boy,
I
I'm
wish
telling you.
I wish my team did that.
Unlike the Jets, who
see-
literally it's just the GM and the management or the ownership, because in my opinion, Salah got the raw end of the deal up there. And to what you got to say in regards to, I got to give you pushback, Brandon, because Aaron Rodgers always has a lot to say about everything that doesn't benefit him. And with Aaron Rodgers freaking just adding that jet fuel onto that fire in regards to Salah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, he had 8,972 passes dropped, but it takes everybody, not just him, not just all that. And when Salah's hands are tied because the ownership and the management doesn't want to allow him to coach, the Jets have this history of doing this, right?
Right.
Let's be honest there. Why do you think Belichick left after coaching there technically an hour and said, screw it, I'm going to the Patriots? Because he saw the writing on the wall that quick and that fast. And he said, no, I'm not doing this crap.
Exactly. So you can say Aaron Rodgers is a jerk,
And
but
you
you
know-
can't say the
all right,
Jets are on
here's-
Aaron Rodgers. Like let's go back and look,
Okay.
let's go back and
I
take
won't
last
say
year's
it's
film
all on Aaron Rodgers.
and look at when like all those drops really were. Because I remember Devontae Adams dropping a touchdown that would have been a go-ahead touchdown in the fourth quarter. I remember that 3rd and 1 to Garrett Wilson that should have been a first down. I remember these big time moments when
You're
you've got to have them, and these receivers are dropping the ball. That's not on Aaron Rodgers. That's on the Jets organization. And now he's balling in Pittsburgh because he's a 4-time MVP that knows how to sling the rock. Now, is he a jerk? Sure. I don't know him off the field,
We're not talking
I-
about.
but
All
So
right, my hat's off. My hat's off. But go ahead, Chris.
Ineligible man downfield, 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, Brandon. He's in Ella. No, I'm just kidding, Brandon.
Sorry, you guys
But
are really quiet in my ear. I'm probably really loud in y'all's. I apologize.
oh, you're fine.
No, you're good.
I got to
You're
get
good. Go
closer
ahead,
to the
Chris.
mic.
What you got? Because I'm gonna close out the Aaron Rodgers conversation in a minute.
Oh,
Just go
damn.
ahead,
Here it
Chris.
comes. Aaron Rodgers is a virus. Okay. And a lot of people don't realize that. Why doesn't McCarthy still have a job up in
Same
Green
reason he didn't
Bay?
have a job down in Dallas.
Hold on. Hold on. Correct. He doesn't have a job down in Dallas now. But when Rodgers was
I
there,
understand
who did
Aaron
he
Rodgers
have
threw him under the
conflict
bus,
with?
but look, he had a 12-5, 12-5, 12-5 record down in Dallas and still couldn't get it done in the playoffs. Now that was a lot on Dak. No,
Who,
Dak
Aaron
Prescott
Rodgers
couldn't get it
couldn't get
done.
it done?
But I'm saying Mike McCarthy
Or
couldn't get
was
it
it
done.
Mike
He
McCarthy?
got him to the hump, got him over the hump one time, and then couldn't get it back over the hump. You got to move on. Now Aaron Rodgers probably should have moved on with him,
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron
but he
Rodgers
held
should
him
have
captive.
definitely moved on. But I'm also proving a fact here that everywhere Aaron Rodgers has gone, there's been conflict with coaches. There's been conflict with players. There has been some sort of something said that Aaron Rodgers seems to be behind it. Now I get it. Don't get me wrong. He's 87-time MVP, blah, blah, blah. But if you're a virus and you're an MVP, how much does your team have your back and how much does your team finally sit there and say, F you? Okay. And in my opinion, this is what I'm seeing happen in New York, the end of Green Bay, and now you're starting to see a little bit of it in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Well, did you guys see when his lineman came up and it was just to give him a hug and just kind of like, yeah, they fell down. It was accidental. Now, don't get me wrong. That guy's like 7'12", 525 pounds landing on him. I'd be a little annoyed too, but still, come on, dude. Take a Midol, relax. Jesus. All right. That's
Yeah.
all I got to say
So
about Rodgers.
yeah. So Brandon, we're combining two things here that don't need to be combined. What I'm talking about here, take out all the drops that those receivers made. That has nothing to do with Robert Saleh. Take the lineman not blocking. That has nothing to do with Robert Saleh. Okay? There was disgruntled players in that locker room. And the front office was tired of hearing about it. And then here along comes Aaron Rodgers, saw an opportunity to get rid of a coach he did not get along with, and said some things behind closed doors with the brass.
I agree with that.
And Robert
I
Saleh's
agree
gone.
that Aaron Rodgers got Robert
We're not
Saleh
talking.
fired.
Okay, and that's my point. That's my point because we just spoke about Robert Saleh and Shanahan in San Francisco that are like peanut butter and jelly right now. I mean, they have it going yum yum so good with backup players, backup quarterbacks. They look like world beaters,
Yeah.
and people are like, "Wait till they get healthy." I can't wait for that because I mean, look, I have to respect it. I'm not a 49ers fan, but I'm sitting there going, "That's impressive."
And back
And
up to
that
the,
means all facets are working. So why is it Robert Saleh is there in San Francisco and you don't have players like he did in New York get up in his face on TV and get in an arguing match with him? You never do that. And I've seen more NFL players do that now on other teams where I'm like, if I was a coach and a player came up to me and got in my face, I would sit his ass on the bench and say, "You're not playing the rest of the game." But here's the thing about Aaron Rodgers: the front office and the brass are going to listen to him because they
Right.
paid him a lot of money. And at the end of the day, that's what's the bullshit about it. It's the hypocrisy. You're paying a guy whether he makes a completion or not. Aaron Rodgers can sit on the bench for all he cares. He's getting paid. I mean, they never grow up in a sense. They're still whiners. They still cry about stuff. I mean, hell, we're fans and we're crying about it right now. I mean, we are.
tears right now.
Yeah. I mean, the whole world's a joke, and we're just getting pranked. I mean, but I'm still going to watch it,
Yep.
you know. But look, all I said was Robert Saleh probably should get another opportunity down the line in coaching. But go back to Raheem Morris. We're getting back to the Falcons real quick. The Falcons have a problem of bringing in the wrong coaches. Look at Quinn. Do you think he really got a fair shot in Atlanta?
Absolutely not. I mean, was he not the one that
No.
took him to the Super Bowl against
Yeah,
New
but was
England?
he also
Correct
not
me
the
if
one
I'm
that
wrong.
let Tom Brady
Yes.
have the most amazing comeback in history?
That's neither here or there. That's not my point.
I'm saying you got to look at it.
I agree with you, but the point is, he got you there. How many coaches get to the Super Bowl all the time? I mean, come on. John Fox, perfect example in Carolina. You know what?
God, I forgot about him.
He got to a Super Bowl, and he went a couple years having bad years. Granted, he still got there. And you know what? He was one of the best coaches in Carolina history. Let's
John
be
Fox
honest.
December too,
Yeah.
right?
For
With,
a
Manning?
brand new franchise.
Yes.
So I got a question for you guys, real quick, kind of
I can't
sideways
believe I'm
here.
yelling like this. Sorry, guys.
Do you ever think that these franchises bring in some of these coaches and don't give them any players just to set them up for failure so they can say, hey, look, I hired him. He didn't do a good
think they
job.
do it all the
Now he's
time.
gone.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go here. Absolutely. I'm going to go here for one reason. And forgive me, not political, but I'm going to say it. The Rooney Rule. You know what? You got these guys that sit there that have to go in and be interviewed. They just interview them to interview them. I mean, whether they get the job or not, they can be the most talented person and they still don't get the job. And you know what? Honestly, when you sit here and you hire the guy you really want, it's up to ownership to get the players. It's up to the GM to get the right draft picks, make the right trades for your franchise. If you are not on the same page, it's not going to work. I mean, we see it in Carolina right for the last 5 years since Tepper's been in office, whatever you want to call it. It's been one of the most chaotic franchises there is because we could not determine a quarterback. We could not determine what way we wanted to go. And every time we change direction, we're setting our franchise
Well, I
back.
mean, with Carolina,
How many of you use a CPA? How many of you use a CPA to do your taxes? Chris, how much do you claim and how much do you write off?
Yeah. I knew you were going with that the minute you said it.
Put it on an NFL scale now.
Yeah. Yep.
At the end of the year,
They need the write-off.
they hear the fans. They hear the fans. The fans are so upset. Look at Cleveland when they had the winless season parade. They had a winless season parade through Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't tell me that Haslam didn't sit there going, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good.
Taking these tax write-offs. I'll tell you guys something
He
here
wrote
too. Brandon, I know you got something to say.
well, I mean, it's just back to the organization. I mean, you look at the Niners and why they're having success, and you look at the coaches and the GM. You know, they're a team. The whole 49ers. Let's try this one more time. The whole 49ers.
I know how much you love the Niners.
The whole 49ers organization from top to bottom is a team. And if somebody steps out, like we saw it last year, that player didn't want to go in, what'd they do? Cut him immediately. There was no questions, nothing. Gone. Let a player get a coach solid space. Whether he's right, wrong, or indifferent. Let it happen. Cut. Now let's look at the Jets organization.
Boom.
Dysfunction. Let's look at the Browns organization, the Bears. There's a whole list that we can look at, and it's Jerry Jones is a freaking zoo. You know what I mean? And that's the difference in the Niners organization and everybody else. I'll tell you another one that looks really good and that works well together is the Rams organization. That's why the Rams are dominating this year. That's why the Niners and the Rams are dominating this year. Look at Tampa Bay. They all believe in each
Yeah,
other.
when the
I have one.
Huh.
I have one correction, Brandon. One correction there. The 4-2 Bears.
All right,
The
going
four
there.
shoe-
They are
the
just
4-2
now
Bears.
figuring it out.
Bears.
After
That was
2 years of this-
Brandon's comment. Brandon's comment last night was, "How are the Bears 4-2 better than my Cowboys?"
And they blew the
Blew 'em
Cowboys
out.
out, if I remember correctly.
smoked them.
I'm not rubbing that one in, Brandon, but those were your words last night, and I just busted out laughing, going, "He's right. How are the Bears 4-2?"
And to that point, let's be real. Dio called it during that game. What did he say? He's going to throw for 5 touchdowns, look like a
I
all
said,
pro.
Caleb Williams was going to throw for 5 touchdowns, and damn it if he didn't throw 4.
Even I took your Niners, dude.
Yep. I know. I'm a horrible individual.
Oh, my God.
I'll be the first one to say it.
Caleb Williams, man. Anyways,
So,
Brandon,
real quick, I want to tell you guys something. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but when a pro franchise wins Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA Finals, the NHL Stanley Cup, if they are in America, they get audited every single year. And people don't realize that, and people don't know that end of the sports business. If you lose, you don't get audited. And I think this is why Cleveland's great, because they've never been audited. Bad joke.
the Lions haven't either.
So with that being said, I honestly think that, Dio, you're on the right track there. I think that the ownership does take that into account, and there's definitely something there.
Well, look at Mark Davis.
Look, if a business isn't making money, if a business is not making money, they close their doors.
Right.
So you're telling me all these years in Cleveland football history, whether it was Art Modell or now the Haslams, that if they were losing money based on every sorry-ass team they ever put on the field, why are their doors still open? Because they're making money.
That's a great question. But I got one question before we move into tonight's games. Right now, who's the worst franchise, the Jets or the Browns? We keep
Ooh.
going back there.
Jets,
Not trying to
hands
close.
down.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to agree.
That,
As much as
I mean, Cleveland, look, Cleveland's defense, hey, Myles Garrett, I mean, yeah, he's getting paid a lot of money, but Cleveland's defense is kind of stymied. I mean, they'll put up some blockage for you.
Yeah.
That you're not going to score a lot of points.
Well,
But
what about
yeah, I mean,
Judkins,
look at yesterday.
He's not.
the running back?
Oh, I know. Where'd that kid come from? I know he came from Ohio State, but damn.
Wow. Yeah. He's
Can
down.
we argue?
Look, they
I think
behind
I think
something.
Cleveland's issue is the coach.
Can we arguably?
I stand on it. I know Kevin Stefanski's coach of the year, but he underperformed. Oh my goodness, did he? Like he cost them that playoff game.
Can we?
Before we get to Rod's games tonight, can we talk about
Yeah, I definitely
the
want to get
Giants'
into that.
meltdown yesterday?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
So who is that on?
This is the Jake segment. We're going to start calling this the Jake hour, or the Jake moment.
Oh, he went off. That was hysterical. I was crying when I saw him go off.
So was that
Yeah, we got to talk about. I want to talk about that.
was
'cause
that a Bo
was,
Nix comeback or was that a Giants fall apart?
Go ahead, Brandon. Giants fall apart.
Not even close.
Debacle.
That was all on the coordinators
Yep.
and the head coach.
Yeah.
They were up 19-0, then 19-8, and then it just went off the
Yeah.
rails.
And don't get me wrong, Dart threw an interception, but come on. One interception doesn't lead to the comeback win, 33 points in the fourth quarter.
33
5
points
minutes.
were scored
5
in the
minutes.
fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know what?
33 points.
You know what I'm going to equate this to? The Tennessee-Georgia game in college football. You remember how Tennessee had the foot on the
They
gas,
were up 21-7.
foot on the gas,
Up
and
21-7.
Georgia could not stop them. Georgia could not stop it, to use Brandon's term, a nosebleed on the secondary. These receivers were getting wide open. I mean, they could have had 30-second touchdowns every time they touched the ball if they really kept the foot on the gas.
Oh, yeah.
Exaggeration,
Yeah.
but think about this. They took the foot off the gas. They said, oh, we got this game in hand. And you know what? It came back and bit them in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's what we saw yesterday in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, look, you cannot put that on a rookie quarterback.
No.
You have to play. You have to burn that clock up. You have to manage
Yeah.
it. And Jackson Dart could have done that for them had they put the right plays in place. Going back to what was working to get them to the 19 points of driving the
Yep.
ball. I mean, okay, you didn't get a touchdown, kick another field goal. Keep just tacking on some threes. I mean, good grief. You can't do that to a rookie running back and quarterback. Okay? You're already against the wall with the home crowd of Denver. That's a tough place to play
Very.
for anybody. The elevation, every bit of it. You get oxygen on the sideline for players more than any other stadium. They have to use it because of the elevation change. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a defensive back that couldn't go play in Denver because he had sickle cell.
That's right.
Okay, he could not play, so we were down a defensive back in Denver because he could not be at that elevation. So it's a tough place to play. You already know this. You just beat the Philadelphia Eagles, manhandled them, and then you go into Denver. You're up 19-0, and you give up 33 points in the fourth quarter. That is Brian Daboll and both his coordinators
Mm-hmm.
right there. Those three should be out the door today. Go ahead and accept the loss. You're going to have to replace them, but damn.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a Giants fan, I would have probably had the same reaction Jake had last night, which was very comical and epic, and it was instant gold, and I'll never forget it. And I appreciate it, Jake. That was great material you had. I was in tears. But I felt bad for Jake. I felt bad for Jake.
Oh, God,
I mean, that, it's like giving him the keys to a new home and then foreclosing on it the next day. It's like, what? What did you just do to me?
Yep.
You know?
Do you think it was because they were tired as well, or do you think it was just purely coaching?
The play calling, the 3 and outs. They were calling plays that did not benefit the clock.
Yes.
And did not benefit your field position.
Ridiculous.
It was third. What was it? 3rd and 8 in that fourth quarter. The Giants had the ball. Okay, 8 yards. Okay, probably don't want to run it. Maybe a sideline pass or something across the middle. Oh no, let's go for the end zone. Let's go down the sideline, 35 plus yards. Give me a break. That play call. I mean, you needed a first down. Not that. Yeah, you need the points, but damn.
Yep.
I mean, I would have been going nuts if I was a Giants fan. It made no sense. 2 running plays, and then you're gonna throw it down the sideline.
I didn't see the whole thing. But right when they scored, they were going for 2. It was 19. They were trying to go up 21. I really like the call to go for it right there. But after you don't get it, you guys still got to go out and play. I don't understand this only playing 3 quarters thing. And what are you doing as coaches to not get your team to rally up? You had 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. All you needed to do, you could let them score twice. All you need to do is get a couple first downs. You can't run the clock. You can't run the clock with 6 minutes to go with 2 scores. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why they have 4-minute offensive, just for
Like,
that.
what are we doing?
All right.
So did that remind anybody? Did that remind anybody of the Super
Oh, yeah,
Bowl
that
between
pick
the
six?
Falcons and Patriots?
Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
Of
yeah.
course.
I mean, look at it. Yeah, I mean, Giants were up 19-0 going in the fourth quarter. They gave up 33 points to the Broncos.
Yep.
Broncos couldn't get near the end zone the entire game, and then you give up 33 points in the fourth quarter.
That was ridiculous.
That comes down to coaching. Yeah, the players got to play, but the coaches have to put the right plays in to stop it, not prevent.
You know, I was
but
on the
stop
Dayball
it.
train. Go ahead,
And
Rod.
we've murdered that prevent defense so much, but you know what? It's become
Yeah.
more and more obvious that it needs to be taken out of the NFL, college, high school, whatever league you want to call it,
Preventing you
because
from winning.
it's called the ban you from
Prevent you from
winning
winning.
game, because you know what? Those Chris, I agree with you. Those
Oh,
drunk
yeah.
plays we give, you know what? They turn into first downs. They turn into touchdowns. They turn into field goals. And you know what? Ultimately, it costs you more games than you win with it.
So would you guys call this the biggest debacle or one of the best comebacks
Oh, I think
ever?
it's got to be. I mean, it's up there with the Ravens debacle.
Yeah.
I look for the silver lining in a lot of things, and you know what? Congratulations, Denver! You got that win yesterday, but the Giants coaching staff helped you, so that is a
But Bo
debacle,
Nix did a great
not a
job.
greatest comeback. It's the worst debacle I've seen. It's the worst debacle I've
If
seen
you look at
since the
just the
Super
fourth
Bowl.
quarter, Bo Nix did a
The
good job in the
Patriots
fourth
and
quarter.
He did, but they allowed him.
Yeah, I mean, for three
They
quarters,
allowed him those passes.
three
They were
quarters of that
giving
game was
him
nothing.
those yards.
Let me look at something real quick. This is interesting. Y'all go ahead, keep talking till I
You know what's crazy?
pull it.
I have Bo Nix
I got it
as
right
my
here.
backup quarterback in fantasy. Joe Burrow went on IR, and so I picked up Matthew Stafford. And I was like, man, thank God I put Matthew Stafford in. And then all of a sudden, in the fourth quarter, he's got 39 points. I'm like, what in the world?
You know where you
Yeah.
knew where I was going, Brandon. Had him in my fantasy league as my starting quarterback, right? You know who my number 2 pick overall was? Saquon Barkley. Get this. Saquon Barkley yesterday. 5.2 fantasy points. My 6th or 7th round quarterback got me 40 points. Almost.
Yeah. It was a debacle. I mean, look, the thing is, Bo Nix and that offense have the opportunity to play that way if the defenses allow it. And that's my point. They allowed Denver to do what they wanted, hoping that the clock would run out. Instead of them being clock management,
Yeah.
they let Denver be clock management. And Denver used every damn second. And look, yes, the kicker missed the extra point on that touchdown that the Giants had to score, which allowed Denver to kick a field goal and win it before it even got to overtime.
Yeah.
Because the worst they could have done is tied the game had he made that extra point. You know, they could have kicked the field goal for the extra point.
All right.
So
Go ahead, D.
that should have been the discussion this morning at the front office in New York, from the ownership down. Somebody is responsible for that debacle, and it starts with the coaching staff.
And how does Cam Scotty only have 16 carries that whole game for 60 yards?
Yep.
Because I couldn't remember how many carries he had, and I just looked that stat up again, and I went, "Are you kidding me? He should have had at least 10 in that fourth quarter." But that's just me.
Yeah.
Even if he got 2 yards of carry, because you know what?
Hey, what was the time of possession? What was the time of possession per team in the fourth quarter? Because that right there is going to tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah. Hold on.
Well, every time I looked over, they were throwing a pass in the fourth quarter.
Chris,
So why are we throwing the ball? Why are we throwing the ball on first down? Why are we throwing the ball on second down? Yeah.
Because you're stopping the clock if it's dropped. You're stopping the clock if it's dropped.
Yep.
I mean, that's what the play calling is a joke.
While Chris is looking this up, I got an interesting question for you. You talk about Quinshon Judkins, you talk about some of these other guys Cleveland got, and you look at what the Giants did. Now that we've seen the talent on the field, who had the better real draft this year? The Giants or the Browns?
Who had a better draft, Giants or the Browns?
Yeah, talent-wise on the field, what we're seeing. I mean, you're seeing Scadaboo, you're seeing Dart, you're seeing Judkins, you're seeing... Well, Bond was an undrafted free agent, but you're seeing some of these linebackers that they drafted. Bannon, and you got Abdul Carter on the
I mean, I think the Giants had a better draft, but
like the pure talent.
Cleveland's been building for a little while.
Real quick, I've got that total real quick.
Oh, good, because
the Broncos had the ball for 5 minutes and 40 seconds in that fourth quarter, and the Giants had it for 9 minutes and 20 seconds in the fourth quarter. So, again, that is on the coaching staff.
Oh God, yeah.
Because the Broncos put up 33 points in 5 minutes and 40 seconds of that fourth quarter yesterday, and the Giants had it for over 9 minutes and lost the lead.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is another Atlanta Falcons, Tom Brady and the Patriots Super Bowl debacle. This was done in one quarter, not a half. 1 quarter.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
For my ball, calling them out jokingly, of course. For my ball friends, this is called scratching your head. How can you sit there and have the ball for 9 minutes and 47 seconds and not maintain the lead?
Yeah.
And you're talking about, I'm no math genius, but you're talking about 6 points per minute, roughly.
Yeah.
How can you ultimately score 6 points a minute in 5 minutes and come back and win the game when the opposing team has 9 minutes and 47 seconds?
You throw the ball and stop the clock numerous times.
I would have expected that time to have been flipped, and I am shocked when I saw that. I'm just like, wow.
Sorry, Gio, I had to throw the ball coming in as a joke. I apologize.
I wonder how many times when Dart was throwing the ball, I know there was a bunch of 3 and outs, but how many times did his receivers catch the ball and go out of bounds instead of trying to stay in?
I didn't get to watch the game, so I can't really figure that out. But ultimately,
I think it was one of the guys was showing that game on Red Zone yesterday, so it was a lot of quick back and forth.
Yeah.
But that was what I was saying when I watched some of the Giants plays. They would run it twice, so they had 3rd and long, and then they would try to go down the sideline for 35 to 40 yards. And I'm like, you only needed 8 yards to keep the drive going. I mean, that's my point. And I'm sorry we got in this quagmire and we got in the quicksand of this Giants-Broncos game, but that was a lot to unpack on that to really see how bad Brian Daboll and his coaching staff are.
Yeah.
Because they had 9 minutes and 20 seconds to manage the clock.
And they did.
And keep it out of Denver's hands. And they couldn't even do that. And they weren't getting points
and
off.
And you got Scadaboo and Tracy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are we all in agreement here? Who's at fault for that game yesterday?
The coaching staff, obviously. I mean, ultimately, here's the next question to that. Is Daboll the next coach to be fired? Even not this week?
He needs to be.
Yeah.
And who cares? And who cares who they get next right now? Because you've got to get rid of that. You've got to get that out of your locker room.
I'm surprised he's still there. Who's he banging to frickin' stay there is the question.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine addressing your players today? Because I sure as hell wouldn't go in there and start pointing fingers.
I
I mean,
would.
those are grown ass
Let
men.
me ask
I
y'all
would.
this.
They're bigger than me. Yeah,
I
he
would
better
me
he better
myself and
have a
I.
mirror.
Me myself and I.
He better
Let me
have
ask
a
y'all
mirror
this.
on a tripod in front of him
Oh yeah.
when he's talking
So if you
because
fire Dayball right now,
Yeah.
you got to make an interim head coach. What numbnut are you going to put in there that's going to do a better job than Dayball?
Are you kidding me? Their freaking backup secondary linebacker special teams coach would do better than
somebody,
I mean,
because the
I would
coordinators aren't
happily
getting it
accept
done.
that
Nope.
job.
the trifecta needs to be
I mean, I got
fired.
line coach. I mean, I'll bring all my coaches in. I got this.
Yeah, those.
With that talent,
Let's go.
Well, we already know the Giants' defense is not that good.
I'm gonna.
The Giants' defense is not that good. So for the fact that they held them 19-0 for 3 quarters, I mean, I would say that they were calling a great game plan against the Broncos. But yes, the fourth quarter, they're tired. But if you're giving the Broncos every opportunity, and they were in 2-minute drills, obviously, they were in 30-second drills yesterday. My God.
I'm
That's
gonna push
embarrassing.
back on you, Dio.
That's
I don't
just
like their
embarrassing.
secondary, but I do like the front seven. I think the Giants have a very nice front seven. Are they elite? I'm not saying they're elite, but they do have a nice front seven.
I just gave them credit for holding a 19-0 through 3 quarters. They didn't give up any points. So I'll give them that.
That back four is
But
terrible.
the fourth quarter, though, they obviously weren't out there because they gave up 33 points in 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
They got on the bus to go to the nearest
So
buffet.
this is really the question
Wow. I'm going to screenshot
for the
that and send
NFC
it to y'all.
East. Where is the NFC East really? Because you got the Eagles that I think are in trouble.
It's up for
The
grabs.
Cowboys are inconsistent as hell. The Giants are the thank God for them, or we'd be in last place. What is really going on with the East?
Well,
That's anybody's to win right now.
Yep.
And I'll be done with this. I'm sorry, guys. It's anybody's to win right now because Dallas looked great yesterday. The Giants looked great for 3 quarters yesterday. Washington's got issues. I think their quarterback is getting an MRI today.
Ooh.
So you're going to have to roll with
Mariota.
just in case. But Jaden Daniels is you're starting to see an RG3 moment there that we mentioned, that they may be running him into the ground, early retirement. But if the Cowboys can play like that, because the Eagles, and I did not mean to upset Eagle fans yesterday, but they've got issues. They are not the same team from last year.
No, they're
No,
not.
they're not.
And I don't see the Eagles. Eagles might win the NFC East, but I don't see them going deep because I think there are some. The Rams look good. The Niners look good. Seattle's possibility. There's some
Detroit.
good
There's a chance
NFC
that three
teams
out
out
of the
there.
West.
Detroit.
Sorry,
Tampa
Bernie.
Bay.
Tampa Bay. How can we leave them out?
Great segue.
Yeah,
Into tonight's game, by the
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
Ron, attaboy.
there you go. Rodney, take it away, sir.
All right, let's go here. Detroit, Tampa Bay. Who y'all got, and what do y'all see being the difference in this game tonight?
I'll go. So here's what I got. I got Tampa Bay, and I think that the difference is going to be this. Obviously, Baker Mayfield is the cardiac kid right now, and he's playing some phenomenal ball. But I think what it comes down to is this: the DBs for Tampa Bay. And if the DBs can cover the receivers like Amon-Ra and Gibbs, I think that Tampa Bay pulls this out 3-point win. If they don't, I think it's going to be a long night for Tampa Bay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Mike Evans out this week still?
He was a game time decision.
How about Ibuka and Godwin?
Godwin's out.
Yeah, Godwin's out, but Godwin's been out
I know
all
that.
season. Ibuka was
Right.
questionable.
All right. So you got 2 of your top 3 receivers out. You got Ibuka questionable. I agree with you. I mean, but my question is this. do we see the Detroit that goes into Baltimore and just manhandles them? Because isn't this game on the road, if I'm not mistaken?
No, it's
Or
in Detroit.
it's in Detroit. All right.
At least that's what I
So
thought.
I
Hey,
was
tell them
trying
your
to look
Lions
up,
pick and
but
tell us why.
ultimately, I will take Detroit.
Tell us why.
I am biased to the Lions because that's my Super Bowl pick. I need at least one
Hey, you see
to
that?
get there,
He
Dio.
had time to
One
handwrite
time in my
that
lifetime.
before you could spit it out.
That's awesome.
Come on, tell us why. Bird, let's go.
I did. I said ultimately, I don't think
Damn, the game's already over, Rod. Hurry up.
it's going to be Baker Mayfield can sustain the success all year. There, I said it.
There we go.
So, in other words, everybody, when you watch this, Rod was wrong because he picked the Lions. Because whoever Rod picks, they lose. He's not allowed to pick the Steelers, 49ers, or Cowboys anymore this year to ensure us a possible victory. I'm going to go with Tampa just based on the fact that they have been a reach down and grab your short and curlies and get it done mentality.
Yep.
You know, they just suck it up and they keep going when you think the game is over. I think they had an opportunity to come back and meet the Eagles, but there was some special team mishaps. I think that would have been a third loss for the Eagles this year. It should have been, but they have been they've been digging deep, getting these games completed. And Mayfield, you could put the hydration kid out there, and he'd probably hit him in the head with a football if he was on the field. I mean, he's using little, to get the job done.
Yep.
So it's fun to watch. My pick is the Buccaneers. I think Mayfield's the factor. I don't think it matters what receivers out there because they've been catching these no names. Some of these guys I've never heard of. I'd have to look up where they went to college.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
this
my
year
pick.
people are going to start putting
Tampa.
respect on Baker Mayfield's name. He's not the cardiac kid. He's the comeback kid. He resurrected his career and did a great job. Kevin Stefanski didn't know how to use him when he had Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham. That should have been electric. That should have been a Super Bowl run. It was not because of Kevin Stefanski had got in the way. You get him down in Carolina, and unfortunately, Bird, sorry, I know you're a homer, but Carolina just can't figure it out. They had a 6-game run last season that they looked really good, and then they broke it apart when they had absolutely no reason or right to do so. You guys could have gone on a run this year and been second in the division, finishing maybe 10-7. That's over with for you because Carolina's terrible. Nobody's as good as Carolina.
We are second in the division after yesterday. We are second in the division as of yesterday.
Great.
Thank
Now
you.
be second in the division to make the playoffs. So
3
with 10 hours
game
to go,
win
he goes to Los Angeles, wins a game, right? Goes down here and is throwing to not even his number ones, not even number two. He's throwing to 3 and 4 guys and making them look like top 5 receivers. That man has the MVP right now if the season ends. Give me Bake Show, man. Give me that swagger, that raw talent, that arm. The better than Josh Allen ever wished he could be.
Ooh, that's a bold
I
statement.
take Baker Mayfield over
there.
Josh Allen. I've been saying that for the last 5 years.
All right.
All right. Our next game is the Seahawks and Texans. Is that even going to
What?
be a game?
No.
No, Seahawks.
Absolutely not.
Molly Watt.
CJ Stroud is starting to prove what the Ohio State QB curse is. This year, it's just not there. But I will say this: it seems like he's running for his life a little more. So that O line is pretty down, and I don't know. The running game, in my opinion, with Mixon out. Now, do we know if Mixon's back yet, or is he done for
Oh,
the
I have
season?
no idea about Mixon. I've not looked.
Okay. I'm not sure. I haven't looked either. I think Nick Chubb is a good addition, but I just don't think that Nick Chubb gets it done for him. And I think Seattle, even with Sam Darnold, is too good of a team. I mean, the running back tandem, what is it, Charbonneau and Walker? That's just too good. Let's be honest. And the addition of Cooper Kupp as a receiver, and they probably got what, the number 2, number 3 defense, and their defensive tackles are probably ranked number 2, I would say. You got to take Seattle in this in a freaking blowout.
All right. To answer your question about Joe Mixon, Nick Caserio said that Mixon's status for the remainder of the campaign is in limbo.
Ooh, okay, that's
So-
good.
So limbo is a key word for that.
Yeah,
And that's why I'm going to take Seattle. I think Seattle's offense and defense are too good combined.
So they're not listing Godwin out tonight. Ibuka he's questionable on the
Right.
Lucky Urban's out.
yeah.
It'll be Rasheed Rice. Right. Todd White.
But the injury report they're listing right here, they got the offensive tackle out and the running back, Jay Williams, out. But the other 3, Ibuka, the linebacker David, and
Levante
Bridgewater are all
David's out?
questionable. He's got an illness. But they're not listing Godwin.
Devontae David's out?
What? He's got an illness, but he's got an illness. Teddy Bridgewater's got an illness, but he's questionable. But they don't have Godwin listed. But yesterday I heard Godwin was not going to be playing tonight. So we'll have to see game time. That's weird.
Yeah.
The Seattle and Texans game, man, the Texans are a big disappointment in that division. You know, his first year, they did great. I mean, he came out like a baller. And I do contribute some of it to the wide receiver, lacking that he's lost. I think these other receivers are still young. They're learning. But their defense isn't what it once was. And, the Colts are the big surprise in that division. But the Titans, the Texans, they're bottom feeders right now. And that's who, besides the Jets, I'd throw the Texans and the Titans in that conversation as your worst teams in the NFL this year. The Jaguars, just to go ahead and sum up that division, boy, they looked rough yesterday against the Rams. So either they had a bad game or the Rams are just getting that good and they're going to be dangerous at the end of the year, especially for your 49ers, Chris.
I think the Rams
But
are just
tonight's
that good.
game, I think Seattle handles that game with no problem, especially at home because that's the 12th man in the pros kind of stadium. That place gets loud and rocking. Sam Darnold, I think, is doing another good job for another team this year. So he resurrected himself at Minnesota last year. I think he made the wise move to go to Seattle because I don't think he wanted to deal with the J.J. McCarthy drama.
Nope.
So I don't blame the guy. And, it is what it is. So I got Bucks tonight, and I've got the Seahawks tonight.
We all,
But I think the Seahawks game is going to be rough.
we all are
On
in
Seahawks,
agreement.
yeah. Yeah.
Now, Rod, next week, your 3-game winning streak comes to an end.
We'll see.
Because I don't
We got
think you're going to
Buffalo.
pick.
We got Buffalo.
I don't think you're going to pick Buffalo. But if you do pick Buffalo, then your
I would
Panthers
like
may
y'all
have a
to beat
chance.
Buffalo.
Uh-oh.
We will have to wait till we'll have to wait.
Well, it's
till-
possible because look what the Falcons did to them.
But now
Hey,
Bryson
what is-
Young did leave the game with an injury, MRI to be determined on an
Who's your
ankle.
backup?
So we
The
got to
Red
see
Rifle, right?
how bad that is.
Oh, so the Red Rifle may come in?
Red Rifle, and guys, Red Rifle's old. Let's be honest. I mean, with those guys right there, you got those receivers that are coming into their own. I'll admit they're coming into their own. But Red Rifle has always been known for throwing interceptions more than touchdowns. Let's be honest. So, if Bryce Young can play, and I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth, but if Bryce Young can play next week, I think we got a shot at Buffalo.
Interesting.
So Buffalo's going to win because you're taking your Panthers. Got it.
No, not in the infamous words of Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friend. Stay tuned to this week's Friday episode when we get into it.
We got the NBA coming up tomorrow. I'm excited about the NBA.
Sure. So
I'm going to try to knock out my lives this week so I can start doing the hockey night on Tuesdays.
There you go.
I got to get live this week. I've got too much to do today. I can't do it. I got to see what tomorrow looks like.
I may do the second game tonight.
This was some good stuff today. I really like the takes on some of this. I like the pushback too on some of these things.
Yep.
Because I like to hear other opinions. So
it's been fun as always. It's been fun hanging out.
Oh,
with
absolutely.
you guys.
Well,
Y'all, all my
Glad
guys.
you got to see my unshaven face, Chris.
Say that
Even
again?
if some,
I'm glad you got to see my unshaven face.
I know. It's like, whoa.
I normally keep it like yours.
Yep.
even
Yeah.
if
We could be
some
twins.
of y'all give me more grief than others, y'all are still my guys.
this episode was brought to you in part by Heaven Sent Hellbent Gear, hshbgear.com. Get you 15% off. Promo code MARRIED. And Chris,
Paratravelers.net. Let me get you anywhere you want to go around the world, folks.
And don't forget stylesapparel.com, where we put you in style. www.stylesapparel.com with a Z.
Dio, do you want to put your company out there?
Love it.
No, not yet. All right.
Not yet.
All right. And since Styles Apparel is with a Z, we'll see you later.
Oh.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all coming in. It's been fun, and we will see you guys tonight live on TikTok. Peace.
Peace. I don't know why.